Mm. Where did it go? Okay, so welcome to Zenton Music. I'm gonna do a quick live stream here. Um, this is gonna be titled. I've titled it "Be Aware Always." Be aware always. Stay sober. So, what am I saying about being aware always and staying sober? So last night, actually, I came across on my YouTube channel. I have, of course, a watch later playlist. Sometimes I'll come across, uh, YouTube always recommends things. So you'll, uh, whatever your interests are, YouTube will just give you a recommendation. So sometimes I'll come across maybe things. I'll be like, oh, let me check out that teaching. Let's see what. I have no idea what it is, but oh, maybe it's a nice teaching. Maybe they're part of the church. Maybe they have the part of the body of the Messiah. They have an input or a site that might be beneficial. But on the same token and the same side of the flip the coin, it could actually be a bad thing. They could not be part of the church. They could have a weird doctrine and a weird agenda that actually is like a cancer. So this is going to be about all these false preachers and teachers that are out here. We definitely live at a time of crisis, at a time of transition, at a time of change. 2017, I mean, there's so much change happening in the world, it's actually hard to keep up with it. So basically, I'm going to break down a few things about these false people. And so again, being aware of what's real, what's truth, and what's a lie, and what's a deception, that might actually prepare you for destruction when the time comes, right? So let me just switch this image here. Okay, to my here we go. Lovely photo. So yeah, I came across yesterday. There was a teaching. I came across this guy by the name of Malachi Z. York. That's obviously another nomer, like another nickname for him, I guess. I looked him up. Said his name was Dwight York. On Google, it said an American musician. But anyway, that dude. After I kind of like listened to some of this teaching or whatever, I was like, man, this is some weird stuff because the dude was talking about. Basically, it actually sounded just like the ancient aliens people. The people that was talking like on the History Channel, they have the Ancient Aliens program. And ancient aliens, those people believe if people have heard of Zoroastrianism, it's like the one of the oldest religions because it's from Sumer, which is Iraq and Iran, uh, antiquity type of religion or belief. Basically, that aliens created the earth and aliens brought, and all this nonsense, right? Like extraterrestrial ETs and stuff. And this stuff is all tied into it's all new age because it's actually tied into David Icke. I came across this guy too. And here's one thing let me tell you about Zen Turner music. We'll throw out names. I'm not scared of nobody, and I'm nobody to nobody anyway. So I'm gonna throw out names, and I don't really care. There's no repercussions. I live with no fear. The Messiah's got my back. I'm with the Messiah, so I ain't got no fear of man. Period. So people like David Icke, Malachi Z. York, these people, they're like new age people, all about this like alien takeover and stuff. And then that's the same shit with the Scientologists out in Hollywood and Hollyweird, right? They're all about, oh, the spaceship is gonna come pick them up, and they believe in some alien nonsense. Because here's the truth. Here's the truth. I always tell people this: if you want to find truth, you have to prove the Messiah. And it's not about being blasphemous. You have to search and see if the Messiah really walked the earth. And everything stems upon the Messiah. It's not about what's the oldest crap. Forget about the oldest stuff. Don't worry about that. Find out if the Messiah really came. And once you can answer that question, then every other conclusion should be drawn upon that. Now me, I've actually went down that journey. And I know the Messiah is real. I know he came. And so because of that, I've based the rest of my understanding and my life on the Messiah and his light and his way. So that's one big thing that is something that has helped me down in my life. And I'm young, I'm about to hit my 30s, my early 30s soon. So I'm just in my late 20s, but it brings to mind Joshua 1:9. Be strong and courageous, right? The Lord commanded us to be strong and courageous, especially in these times. There are going to be a lot of false prophets, a lot of false teachers that will say just all type of weird things. There was another woman I recently came across, I don't know, a couple years ago. She was from Asia, somewhere like in Vietnam or something. They called her Supreme Master Kai or something, Supreme Master something. And she was talking about how, oh, well, these people that people worship as gods, like Buddha and Muhammad, and even they said Jesus and stuff, they're like, oh, they're like an ascended master. Again, it's all this type of stuff is this new age nonsense where really there is no, you can't point out to a real God. Is that, oh, they're just all a connection of something higher and blah, blah, blah. And you're supposed to tap into it. But again, it's all that new age baloney, which I don't believe in. Anyways, this stuff is retarded to me. What else was I going to point out here? Let's see. Okay, yeah. I want to take also to, let's go to 2 Kings here. 2 Kings 18:6. This is talking about actually Hezekiah. And if you read about King Hezekiah, you realize he was a righteous man. So let's read here. For he, Hezekiah, held fast to the Lord, and he did not depart from following him, but he kept his commandments, which the Lord had commanded Moses. Now we also know when we read in the book of Revelation, here is the patience of the saints, those who keep the commandments of the Lord, of the Most High, or God, or whatever you call the Most High. John, if we go to the Gospel of John, John chapter 4, I believe, and verse 24. Don't quote me. I'm just trying to go off the top of my head here. It says, Elohim is spirit, and those who worship him in spirit and truth. And so again, when people come and they say like there's somebody, like there's been a lot of like cultist people, they say they're Jesus or this and that. Don't believe none of that, because we know that this is the time that's gonna arise where people are going to believe their own wickedness, believe their own nonsense, because we're just mortals. We're not immortals, right? We have our heartbeat. We have to keep breathing. If our lungs go out, we're done. If our heart stops, we're done. So you have to praise the Most High for that. The fact that he's given us sustenance and sustaining our life as we breathe and we live to learn. So at the end of the day, for me, as I said to myself, to anybody who's going to listen to this, stay sober, seek truth. If you don't really know what the truth is, don't listen to me either. Whatever I say, don't listen to me. I'm a nobody. You know what I'm saying? But I'm somebody that just seeks the truth. I found my truth. I know the Messiah. He's so good. He's been so good to me. And, so seek and you shall find is a real statement. Keep the faith. And just beware of these false teachers and people. One other point that does come to mind, the reason I get, actually, I guess the reason I'm even making this video is because I do get offended at things that are corrupted or wicked. For instance, like I could live my life, and when somebody, I remember, like I'll just be normal, like living my life, blah blah blah, and I won't think about, let's say, a topic. Like I'll listen to a radio program or something, and it will come across, it'll say about abortion, and once I hear about abortion, I get so angry. And why do I get angry? Because it's evil. Because I know that somebody could have aborted me. Any of us could have been aborted. You know how evil that is? So I get so angry. So it's the same thing when people come with the nonsense, this new age crap, They try to take away from the Mashiach, the Messiah. They try to take away from the truth. And they also blaspheme, and they take the sacred writings and they intermingle it in the galaxies and blah. It sounds like they're from Star Wars and NASA and all this. They're just nonsense. And I get so offended by that. Because as a man, I'm a seeker of knowledge. That's what man is supposed to do. Man is supposed to understand and have understanding and learn. Women, they're not really called to do that. They're called to be more the nurturer. We know that. But a man is to seek. So when I come across other men who preach, it's a cancer. All this evil doctrine. It's wicked people. So all praise to the Most High Yah through His Son Yahushua HaMashiach, otherwise known as the Christ. And people ignorantly say Jesus. If you still say Jesus, hey, that's okay. If that's how you want to call Him, I'm not judging you. I'm not your judge. I'm not your God. But I call Him Yahushua. And by the power of the Ruach HaKodesh, I bid all farewell, peace, and shalom. Stay tuned to Zentorno Music. More to come. All right. Shalom, shalom.